Sometimes the universe whispers secrets that no one dares to say out loud. And when something massive drifts through the solar system in silence, the unease speaks louder than any official statement. Have you noticed how curiosity spikes the moment someone hides information? Today, you'll finally understand why this cosmic visitor has stirred such a strange tension among those watching the sky. While most people go on with their everyday routine, a gigantic object from an unknown corner of the galaxy slipped into our cosmic backyard. And, oddly enough, NASA barely mentioned it. It almost feels backward. The rarer the phenomenon, the quieter the reaction. And that's exactly where the detail no one wants to acknowledge begins. The detail you're about to discover now. You might not think about it often, but some discoveries have the power to overturn entire beliefs. And when that happens, the first instinct is usually to cover things up. The good news is that once you understand what's really unfolding, you gain clarity. And clarity is powerful. Get ready, because this knowledge may shift the way you look at the night sky from this moment on. When something unexpected appears in the sky, curiosity wakes up as if someone whispered its name. That's exactly how astronomers reacted when they detected that strange object with a Wi-Fi password kind of name. It arrived quietly, but with a peculiar weight to it, almost as if it carried an ancient story that refused to be ignored, echoing from a place far beyond our reach. It didn't take long for them to notice this wasn't an ordinary comet. Its extreme speed felt like a distant whisper, fleeing from something bigger, cutting through space faster than most minds could process. Imagine watching something rush by at over 200,000 kilometers per hour, and still sensing it isn't fast enough to explain its origin. It's like hearing a melody without knowing the composer. For casual sky watchers, spotting something odd might feel like a fun distraction. But for those who dedicate their lives to the heavens, every detection is like opening a secret book. Many say the universe speaks to those who listen, and this object seemed to murmur something different. Its presence felt like an invitation, a subtle hint that its story didn't begin here, and certainly wouldn't end here either. As astronomers began to study the object's path, they noticed something that made them exchange a quiet, uneasy glance. Its orbit didn't match anything familiar. It was hyperbolic, moving as if it had arrived without asking permission and was already preparing to leave. It felt like receiving a guest who barely steps through the door before signaling that they won't be staying. That confirmation changed everything. Objects that belong to our solar system act like long-time residents. They circle, return, and follow predictable routines. But this one didn't. It came from beyond, untouched by the sun's pull, behaving like someone who doesn't follow the local rules. If you've ever seen someone cross a room quickly without looking around, you already understand the impression it made. And the more they analyzed its speed, the stronger that impression grew. It was like watching someone run so fast that you instantly realize they don't belong to that environment. That extra burst of energy confirmed not only its interstellar origin, but also hinted that it carried a kind of cosmic signature. And that mystery only deepened the desire to understand what this visitor truly brought with it. When the pre-discovery images surfaced, they gave researchers that rare spark of intellectual shiver. The records made one thing clear. This object wasn't small or shy. Its size was estimated at around 20 kilometers wide. To put that into perspective, Oumuamua looked like a splinter, and Borisov like a tiny pebble. This, however, felt like watching a giant stroll through a narrow street without noticing its own scale. When compared to the previous interstellar visitors, the contrast became even more dramatic. While the others barely drew attention, 3i Atlas seemed almost overwhelming. It was like entering a quiet room where everyone speaks softly, and suddenly someone arrives talking much louder without even realizing it. Naturally, this difference sparked conversations, theories, and plenty of speculation. And as often happens with anything unusually large from the unknown, rumors of alien spacecraft began to circulate, even if mostly for fun. Still, experts classified it as a normal interstellar comet. Yet something about it felt slightly off, as if beneath that ordinary appearance existed a bigger story waiting to unfold, a story that would soon be hinted at through its unusual route across the galaxy. When astronomers traced the direction 3I Atlas came from, they noticed it was traveling along the galactic plane, a busy cosmic highway filled with young stars and shifting worlds. This path suggested it may have been pushed out of a distant system by a massive planet. It was like following footprints left by someone who moved through a crowded street before disappearing around a corner. And of course, the question everyone wondered surfaced. Could it hit Earth? The answer quickly eased the tension. Its closest approach would still place it farther than the sun itself. It's like hearing a jet passing high above. You notice the sound, but you know it won't land near your house. Still, seeing something so enormous passing relatively close stirred a quiet sense of vigilance. After October 2025, it would swing around the sun and vanish forever, leaving no trace beyond what we recorded. That one-time passage gave its visit a sense of rare opportunity, like meeting someone remarkable during a trip and knowing you'll never cross paths again. And because of this fleeting encounter, the urge to understand what this visitor might teach us only grew stronger. When we think about the scientific value of 3I Atlas, it feels like holding a bottle washed ashore with a message from a distant ocean. Each grain of dust, each trace in its tail, might reveal clues about how planets form in far-off corners of the galaxy. For anyone who loves to learn, this is like discovering a rare book hidden on a forgotten shelf, waiting for someone curious enough to open it. But then comes the frustration. We can't get anywhere near it. Our current technology simply can't match its extreme velocity. Even advanced probes like Parker, capable of astonishing speeds, can't turn sharply or chase something moving this fast. It's like trying to catch a Formula One car while riding a bicycle. No matter your determination, you just can't keep up. And building a new probe would take years. Time we don't have. 3I Atlas isn't slowing down. It's already leaving, carrying possibilities we can only observe from afar. It feels like staring through a cracked door at a treasure you can't reach. That mix of wonder and limitation feeds deeper questions, setting the stage for something even more intriguing. What haven't they told us yet? When the conversation shifts to NASA, things become even more intriguing. The agency, usually quick to release detailed reports, images, and analyses, stayed unusually quiet about 3I Atlas. It felt like when someone avoids eye contact because they know something they're not ready to share. That silence alone was enough to make people raise their eyebrows and wonder what was being held back. Some enthusiasts believe there might be something in the data that doesn't quite match a typical comet, maybe an unexpected variation in brightness, a strange motion, or some feature that's hard to explain. None of this was confirmed, but the fact that NASA shared only the bare minimum was enough to spark suspicion. When clarity is missing, mystery always finds room to grow. And the less information appears, the more imagination takes over. Maybe the silence is simply caution, or maybe it's a deliberate filter of what reaches the public. In the end, the agency's behavior feels like an open invitation to those who refuse to accept surface-level explanations. It naturally leads to a bigger question lingering in the air. What impact does this visitor truly carry with it? This interstellar visitor reminds us that the universe carries far more questions than answers. Now that you know the story behind 3I Atlas, what will you do with it? Will you keep looking only at what they show you, or start questioning what they choose to hide? Sometimes a single doubt is enough to shift our entire understanding of reality, and this may be one of those moments. And what if this object is only the beginning? Are we truly prepared for what else might drift in from the unknown? Questions like this can be unsettling, yet they awaken our best qualities: curiosity, growth, and transformation. Maybe that's what the universe expects from us: courage to look beyond the surface and the willingness to interpret what most people overlook. So here's an invitation. Keep nurturing the curiosity that led you here. Use this knowledge, share it, explore it, question it. And of course, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you don't miss anything new. Because the more we uncover, the more we realize we've barely scratched the surface of what exists out there. And there's still so much more to learn.